One of the most frustrating things about Steve Shives, who I don't even like talking about anymore, I talked about him the second he went off the deep end because I was subscribed to him when he went off the deep end. Most, anti-feminists or secularists or fucking whatever skeptics who don't like him now didn't ever hear about him until well after he'd fucking fallen to the dark side. And the thing that's most frustrating about him is how all of his principles have changed. He never once expressed the idea that Islam doesn't have a right to exist, that people can't just be Muslims. He just wanted to be able to speak out about why Islam is wrong. Felt the same way about Christianity. He never said anything like, Frank Turek shouldn't be able to write his stupid, inane books, or Norman Geisler shouldn't be allowed to go and fucking host debates on religion with guys like Christopher Hitchens or Aaron Ra or something. He never wanted to no-platform these people with bad ideas. And then he became a feminist. And now all of a sudden there's all these ideas that not only should be, but must be no-platformed as a rule if we are to progress as a society. And those would be, anti-feminism, far right-wing ideas, anything alt-right, anything basically that he doesn't agree with politically. Meanwhile, he has actually increased his defense of religious people and virtually dropped any sort of atheist activism in favor of being a social justice warrior piece of shit. That is really frustrating to me. And also, his idea of no platforming people makes no sense on the face of it, as in, if he thinks that it's in the best interest of his own ideas to no platform the contradicting ideas, he's completely fucking wrong. Especially when you're dealing about politics, removing the right of people to hold an idea and express the idea simply allows those people to go underground and to be more, I don't necessarily want to say fanaticized, but definitely more serious in their endeavors. A lot of anti-feminists don't give a shit and don't actually really fit the label of anti-feminist, and they're not especially trying to do anything to make it stop. I do have the intention of convincing everybody who listens to me that feminism and social justice is pure, unadulterated, indefensible cancer and should be discarded. However, it would never cross my fucking mind to go walk into a university and through violence or force or policy or whatever shut any group down that was feminist or social justice. It's not my interest to go across the country fucking trying to shut down black student unions and other cancerous fucking festering holes in university like that, like critical race theory classes or fucking gender studies classes. Because that would only embolden these people. The more anybody outright says, we must do away with you, the more people say, well, that's all the more reason why I should exist and why I should be fucking louder. So Steve Shives would only enable everything he hates by getting his way. If he could get us all shut down on YouTube, we'd go somewhere else and we'd be louder. If he could get us all shut down on Reddit, we'd go somewhere else and we'll be louder. Honestly, being censored is always seen as, although not really always is, a vindication. As in, they're afraid of me, because oftentimes they are, whether you're right or wrong, they are afraid of you. And through fear they use oppression, because to allow you to speak would endanger them, or endanger their ideas, I should say. And it really does come down to that line that's already a cliche that Tyrion Lannister said in, I forget which season of Game of Thrones or which book, but he's mentioning one of the knights in the Kingsguard who doesn't have a tongue. And the reason for that is the queen, even though this knight is loyal and has remained loyal after the punishment of having his tongue removed, the queen had his tongue removed because he saw something he was not supposed to see. And this was far from the only guy she'd have the tongue removed of. She had a habit of having the tongue removed of people who talked shit about her or her family. And Tyrion Lannister told her, if you cut a man's tongue out, all you've shown anybody is that you're afraid of what he has to say. And that's true. I mean, I'm paraphrasing that line. I'm sure it was done much better. It's just off the top of my head. But if you censor people, all you tell anybody, especially anybody who's, unfamiliar with the discussion, all it tells them is that you're an asshole who doesn't want to play fair, and you're afraid of the other guy. Which is not exactly a strong position at all. It's actually a very weak position. And as you're seeing anti-feminism and anti-social justice grow and grow and grow in popularity, and you're just so baffled by that, well, you're enabling it. You're enabling it. The people who run Twitter, who are shadow banning people and all that shit, and the same thing with people on Reddit. Hell, the initial falling apart of 4chan that happened a few years ago, it didn't make it any better for you. It made it worse for you and better for the people who are against you. Not only is censorship not the way you defeat bad ideas, it's not even good for you in the short term or the long term or any fucking term. It's not just wrong, and it's not just morally reprehensible, it's fucking stupid and counterproductive. Thanks for watching.